Right to be Read podcast, episode number 86. Interview with Nathan Chan.
Did you know there's a new place to sell your audiobooks besides ACX and Audible? There is, Buck Books. Authors, I know most of your audiobooks are sold exclusively through ACX, but on any new books you have, a one-day sales pit stop at Buck Books is a no-brainer. When your narrator finishes your audiobook, send us the files and we will feature it to tens of thousands of our active subscribers and growing for one day only. You get some great sales, and the very next day you can upload it exclusively to ACX. This is a great way to help offset the cost of production on a new audiobook and start building a strong relationship with the world's hottest free book promotion service, Buck Books. Not sure how to go about getting your book made into an audiobook or having trouble deciding if audiobook production is right for you? With an audiobook team of 10 and the lowest production cost around, Buck Books is ready to help you finally add this lucrative format to your author portfolio and sell it too. For more information, send an email to john@buckbooks.net. That's John, John, @buckbooks.net.
You are listening to the Right to be Read podcast, and this is your host, Ani Alexander.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Right to be Read podcast, the podcast that inspires and encourages writers. I'm your host, Annie Alexander, and today we have yet another interesting interview. Today my guest is Nathan Chan. Nathan is the publisher and editor of The Founder magazine, a digital magazine for young entrepreneurs on the App Store and Google Play Store. Nathan launched Founder in March 2013 from his bedroom, and in a small period of time it has become a top 10 ranked business and investing magazine on the App Store. And he has the pleasure of interviewing some of the most accomplished entrepreneurs around the world, namely Sir Richard Branson and Adriana Huffington and much more. But surprisingly enough, today we won't be talking about magazine publishing and entrepreneurship. Today what we will be talking about is how to use Instagram. Because besides all the other things which I already mentioned, Nathan had amazing success with using Instagram to raise brand awareness, to gain new readers and customers, and also enlarge his influence. So let's meet Nathan and see how he did all that and how we can use Instagram to build and enlarge our audience and readership too. Hello, Nathan. Welcome to the Right to be Read podcast. I'm really, really happy that we managed to make it and we found the right time to connect.
Thank you for having me, Annie. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Well, we know that you're successful in several spheres, but I wanted today specifically to talk about Instagram because I was really surprised that, that's the channel which could be used for entrepreneurship as well, because I don't know, I have this image of Instagram being like, the thing where you make selfies and, take photo of your dog and take photo of your desk. And for me, it was like the image of Instagram was completely personal account. And so I ended up realizing that there are plenty of other things that you can do with Instagram. So let's start from the very beginning. How did you end up being on Instagram and not taking selfies and photos of puppies and things like that?
Yeah, look, so don't get me wrong. I have a personal Instagram account that I use for selfies and dogs and photos with friends and stuff like that. But we started on Instagram just over 5 months ago now. And to give some perspective for your audience, we've grown a following from 0 to almost 110,000 in just over 5 months. And it's been a game changer for our business. We're rapidly growing a mail database now at least anywhere between 1,200 to 1,500 signups a week onto our mail database.
Wow.
It's been insane just from a community and brand exposure perspective as well. So I got started because, a little bit about me. I run a digital magazine for the App Store and Google Play Store called Founder, and it's a magazine about entrepreneurship. And, things were going well, but I was looking for another channel to, I guess, grow the magazine. And, Facebook was okay, but it's a pay-to-play kind of platform. Twitter is good. However, it's more for driving traffic to your website. And I had a lot of friends that were having a lot of wins on Instagram, selling physical products, health food products, and all sorts of things like that. And funnily enough, about 9 months ago, one of our readers of the magazine came to me and said, "Hey, Nathan, I've got a massive opportunity for you. I read the magazine. I love it. And I think you're really going to like what this opportunity is." And he said, "I run an Instagram account that has 20,000 followers. It's about entrepreneurship, and I post motivational quotes. And I'm thinking that if you pay me, $30, $40, I can do a post on Instagram, and I will post like a feature with Richard Branson, like the Richard Branson cover, and we'll get you a lot more new readers." And 9 months ago, we tried that, and this guy actually, funnily enough, was from Melbourne, from where I'm based as well. And we tried that, and it didn't work. I saw no increase in sales, and I didn't see any results. But then, long story short, just over 5 months ago, I was bringing on a new intern. So I said to myself, this Instagram thing, not worth my time. And then just before we started on Instagram, just over 5 months ago, I was bringing on an intern to work with me for a little bit. And I thought, okay, I'm going to get him to manage our Instagram account. We'll give this Instagram thing another try. And I did a couple of posts on our Instagram, and I just saw our sales just spike.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, wow, I'm onto something here. So I looked at that guy that was a reader of the magazine, and saw that he'd gone from about 20 to 80,000 followers, and I was like, oh geez, I need to catch up with him, find out how he's doing this. And this kind of took me down a path to just battle testing and doing everything I could to really grow our Instagram account, because I saw such a return on investment in time, and also from a revenue standpoint for our business. So that's what got me started, and I'm a massive fan. As it's one of our best sources of customer acquisition right now, and I spend a lot of time on Instagram, but it's insane how many opportunities we're getting. It's just amazing. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and it does sound like it's more fun being on Instagram than on Twitter or Facebook. I have a feeling, at least.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Instagram. It's just it is a fun platform to use, and it's even more fun when you see the results you get for your business. That's even better. And it's amazing, the amount of messages you get from people and how much you're impacting and helping them.
Yeah, so if we kind of, try to understand what it actually gives. So you're getting brand awareness, you're raising your brand awareness. It's a channel to acquire new customers.
Yes.
What else does it do? Do you get more email subscribers, or, what else are you getting from your Instagram account?
Yeah, so as mentioned, we're doing close to anywhere between 1,200 to 1,500 new email subscribers a week, and from there we can get more customers, and definitely more brand exposure.
Okay.
So more sales, leads, traffic, opt-ins, you name it.
Okay, well, it's just, it sounds ideal to me. So that's why I would like to kind of transfer this to authors, let's say, self-published authors, and try to understand what they could do on Instagram to get similar results.
Yeah, great question. So the great thing about Instagram is the engagement is amazing. Like if you compared it to Facebook, I read a statistic that's 50 times better than Facebook.
Wow.
So I get sometimes for certain posts over thousands of comments. We get like sometimes 5,000 likes on an image. So that's just a starting point. Like in terms of social, I believe Instagram is the best channel and the fastest growing channel if you want to get brand exposure, traffic, leads, or sales. So as an author, what I would recommend to do is you want to build your name, your brand as an author. So, if you want to become a influencer for a certain niche or topic, you need to be serving that community. And to serve that community, you need to be producing content. So whether that's on Facebook or Instagram or your blog or on Twitter, I believe, don't get me wrong, I post content on Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and LinkedIn, but we get the most traction on Instagram. So I believe that authors, they should use Instagram as a channel. So you can use it for building your email database. You can use it for driving traffic to your blog or website. You can use it to drive people to a shopping cart or sales page or your Amazon. If your audience is selling their books in Amazon, you can drive them to a link in Amazon. There's all sorts of things you can do around educating your prospective customers, future customers, and current customers around what you do and why you do it.
I see. So let's say if you're an author who's writing, let's say a fiction book, because usually fiction is harder to kind of, to push through the competition and kind of, to position yourself as a fiction writer. It's a bit harder. So let's say you're writing a fiction book, which will be coming out in about 6 months. So, and let's even pick a genre. Let's say it's a romance book.
Yep.
What kind of content you can already start putting on your Instagram account during those 6 months in order to start acquiring potential readers already?
Okay, that's a great question. So if it's romance books and you have, let's say you have a website, it's like a romance blog or something along those lines where you write about content and then you publish books around that content to become an authority. I believe, a great way to start would be romance quotes. I don't know what it is about quotes, but they just work so extremely well, and they're really shareable. So people always want to tag their friends and all sorts of things. So I know for a fact that there's a lot of high traffic Instagram pages that are around romance. And there's a lot of people that I'm sure that, love these kind of books would follow these accounts, these high trafficked accounts on romance, love quotes, all those kinds of things. So if somebody loves to read romance novels, there's a good chance that they would follow these kinds of pages. So it comes down to posting content that really resonates with your audience, that triggers an emotion. Like I would ask the question to your audience, what is the kind of content that you're posting on your blog, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Google Plus, on LinkedIn, on the other channels, and come up with a way to make it an image, because obviously Instagram, you can only post images. So come up with a way to serve them and make it an image. And I believe quotes is a great way to start. Either quotes or facts, they're very, very good ways to create content that people will share. They will tell their friends. They will tag their friends. And that's where I would start. With Foundr, you can have a look. We just got startup facts, tips, business advice, and quotes, heavily on quotes. A lot of these high traffic Facebook pages or Twitter pages, they all post quotes too. I don't know what it is about quotes, but if you're an author, quotes, you craft words for a living, wouldn't it make sense, because quotes are so hot on Instagram, wouldn't it make sense to do, Hemingway quotes, all sorts of, quotes that really resonate with you, that would resonate with your audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's imagine. I mean, I did this just a couple of weeks ago, actually. I set up the Right to Be Read podcast Instagram account,
Yep.
and well, you start from scratch basically, and you start producing content and putting it out there. And what do you have to do in order to start gaining audience, followers, and get people to know that this account exists?
Yeah, great question. So, you could start an Instagram account and you could just post content and you could do it for as long as me, 5 months, and you'd be lucky to have 1,000 followers. So there's definitely a lot there that we have done to rapidly grow our followers. So the first things first is, comes back to creating content that really resonates with your audience. And then the next piece comes to creating content that's shareable, that people want to share. So that's why I like quotes, and I think they're very, very powerful. But either way, you've got to be creating content that's valuable, that provides value, that keeps people wanting to come back.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, websites are so high traffic like BuzzFeed, because people always want to come back. I want to come back to see what's happening. A lot of people write to me and they say they love waking up every morning to see what founder has posted on their Instagram. They come back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first place to start. Then the next place to start is it comes down to consistency. You have to be posting, if you want to do this properly, at least, 2 to 3 times a day. You need to build momentum, because the more you post, the faster you will grow. We've posted thousands of images in the past 5 months. I've gone kind of crazy on it. So that's the next piece of the puzzle. And then after that, once you've got your content down pat, you really need to be utilizing hashtags. Now, hashtags are very, very powerful on Instagram, and they allow you to, I guess, reference like a backlink to your photo.
Mm-hmm.
So hashtags are very, very key. And then there's something else that I find is really powerful to give your following a kickstart, and eventually it hits tipping point, is to just follow other like-minded accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Like the follow me, follow you strategy, it might seem a little spammy, but it definitely works. And we did it for, the past 5 months. We're not doing it anymore because we don't need to. We're at over 100,000 super engaged followers. But to give our account a really big kickstart, we got at least 20,000 followers from just doing follow me, follow you stuff, following as many people as we could from like-minded accounts. And then, those 30 to 40% would follow us back, and then just rinse repeating that formula. So it's very, very key that I must mention this to your audience, that what, similar accounts or, similar type, find out where your starving crowd hangs out on Instagram. So have a look and find out, if you are writing romance books and novels, have a look at these love quote pages and find the high traffic ones. Find the top 10 influencers in your niche that, serve your community. Find out where they're hanging out and see what they're posting. That's even better to know. Like, you need to be looking at what other people are posting too, especially the influencers, because every single market has a set of influencers in the space. So you need to know who they are, and eventually you need to become friends with them. You need to do, business development, because then the next piece of the puzzle is, once you've got your content down pat, your hashtags down pat, you need to get other people to start sharing your images. And it's called S4S. So share for share. Now there's a lot to be said about share for shares. I get asked 10 times a day, Nathan, they don't know who I am, but or they might know that it's just me behind the founder account. A lot of people think we're a big company, and they say, they send us a private message, or they email me, or they write on our contact form and say, hey, I want to collaborate with you. I want to do a partnership. I want to do this. I want to do that. Can you just give me a shout out or do a share for share? They don't even want, these people don't even want to reciprocate. They just want a shout out. And unfortunately, there's no fair exchange in value, and I just can't entertain that because it's, why all of our hard work would we let somebody leverage that? It's like asking someone for money, really, that you don't know. Why would you give someone money that you don't know, where there's no exchange in value? So I think it's very, very important that you build a relationship, but also try and provide as much value as you can with these other influencers and network, and work out some sort of relationship where you can help each other out. And that is when the real power comes, when you have, other accounts shouting you out. And it does, even if you have an account, like let's say you have a couple of thousand followers. So if you follow my strategy, you'll have, in a few weeks, a couple of thousand followers. The next piece of the puzzle is to contact other accounts or other Instagram pages that have a similar following to you. They might have 4,000 or 10,000, and you will say to them, okay, let's do a share for share, but I will do three posts of your content shouting you out, and you can do one, so you can match the amount of value. Or you can find someone else that has 2,000 followers, and you simply both shout each other out, and you'll see that you get a boost in followers, and you'll see that you get a boost in people clicking on your bio, and it's just a flow and effect, and that is I could sit here and talk about it all day, Annie, but that is the main premise of how we're growing so fast, and what I recommend to your audience to start getting some traction on Instagram.
I see. So you mentioned two things which I would like kind of to clarify, because for the very beginners we need to kind of to open up the brackets, let's say. You mentioned hashtags, and some of them know hashtags from Twitter, and we know the logic of how it works. And for Twitter, for example, there are places where you can go and see which are the most popular hashtags per sphere, and which are the most popular ones, etc., etc. So are there any reference places where you can kind of evaluate or get the list of relevant hashtags for Instagram?
Yeah, there's one called Hashtags for Likes, it's a great question. Hashtag for Likes, that I highly recommend that website. Or you can just research your own.
Okay. And if you want to research by your own, what do? You look at the similar accounts post and see what hashtags they are using, or there is another way to research?
Yeah, that, and also try and find, because you can do hashtag searches within Instagram, try and find which are the most popular hashtags, but then also try and find niche obscure hashtags as well that, you might get a little bit more appearance on.
I see. And you also mentioned about similar accounts, but the influential ones, like the biggest ones. How do you evaluate that? Is it by the number of followers, or there is some kind of rating of the accounts or something like that?
Great question. So, there are accounts out there that they might have a lot of followers, but their engagement is very, very low. So you need to find accounts that have a legitimate following. So, it doesn't happen often, but you will stumble across accounts that have, might have 50,000 followers, but they get, 100 likes per image. So for a fact that they've just paid for like all those followers, and they're not real people, they're just bots. So engagement always matters. Engagement is the most powerful thing. So to me, it doesn't matter. It does matter how many followers you have, because it's a metric, but it's only a vanity metric. I must be very, very clear that Instagram, having a certain amount of followers, while it is great, what really matters is using that following as a channel to grow your business. You want to get results. So I've never been that concerned with the amount of followers we have. It's great social proof, but it's more of an indication that, we can grow our business through this amount of audience. So I always look to the engagement of accounts, and you'll get an idea of what is a healthy account and what not, and what isn't. But you generally want to find anywhere between 1 to 3% followers to like ratio, which will help you find out a healthy account. Use that as a metric to suggest whether the account is healthy or not. And it's all about the engagement. But obviously, follower numbers do matter too.
I see. So how do you how do you engage these people and drive them to wherever you want them to get? Do you put the link? I mean, you can put link only in the bio, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that's the only place where you can use the link to drive people to wherever you want them to go. And
correct.
So how are you making sure that, how are you kind of, making it more efficient to make sure that more people clicked or look, do they even look at the bio? And how can you boost that part? Because they might look at the images and then just, continue their way through Instagram, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's a very, very good point. And there would be plenty of people that would just look at our images and not click on our bio, and that's fine. I'm prepared to play the long game. It's all about the long game. Same with Facebook. You can create content, and you might just post for example, we're on Facebook now. Videos have a lot of power, and all people do is post videos. A lot of people might just watch your videos and never click on the link in your bio or go to any website. So you have to be prepared to play the long game always with this social or writing or blogging stuff. I think it's very, very important that you have that mindset. And I think that it's all about building trust and developing that connection and relationship with your audience and community. So if you're posting stuff that resonates with your community on Instagram, the deeper and deeper that you build that trust and the deeper and deeper you build that relationship, even though, they might not know you as a person, or they might as time goes on and they listen to your podcast or whatever, they will want to find out more about you. They will trust what you are saying is the truth, and they just will naturally be inclined to want to find out more about you and your business. So it does take time, but there are certain things you can do to make a compelling bio. So one thing that I recommend is be very, very clear in your bio what your account is about. What are the problems you're solving? I think that's very, very important. And I think using bullet points, we don't, for Founder, use bullet points in our bio because our bio, its whole purpose is to drive people to click on our link and go to a landing page. And I'm using copywriting in our bio that is very, very powerful, that will entice people and to click on that link. And I know for a fact that less people click on the link if I have a bullet point bio. So bullet points are really good, I think, for a bio, just to, discuss what your account's about, the problem you're solving, what you're going to get if you start following us. I think that's really, really important. And then the next piece is if you do a tailored image on telling people, if you click on the bio what you're going to get, that makes a massive difference too. So the link in our bio goes to a landing page which gives away a gift, like a lead magnet. And it's just an issue, like a magazine, one of our magazine issues, and it's the issue is just a guide, and it's called The Definitive Guide on How to Start an Online Business. And like in the past 6 weeks, we've had over, 7,000, 8,000 people download that guide. And, in our bio, we have a strong call to action with strong copywriting saying, want to start a business but don't know where to start, press on the link to download your free guide. So they're the kind of things you can do, tactics, strategies, hacks to get people to click on your link, but you have to be prepared to play the long game too. And you cannot, like there'll be plenty of people that, out of the 110,000 people that follow us, there'll be a decent proportion that have never clicked on our link. And I'm fine with that, Instagram is an amazing channel. The amount of emails and people that are signing up to our email database is amazing, like so large that a lot of my friends with high traffic websites with hundreds of thousands, millions of views on their website don't even get that many opt-ins. So I created this channel in 5 months, so it just goes to say the power of Instagram.
Amazing. And how do you deal with, I'm really struggling being in Armenia with time zones and things like that. So you mentioned that it's effective to at least post 2 or 3 times a day on Instagram. So how are you kind of figuring out when exactly is the most effective time frame to post?
Yeah, another great question. I pretty much post... Like we post more than 2 to 3 times, probably about 5 to 6 times a day. And, I post when I wake up and then I post maybe 3 or 4 hours later, then just keep posting every 3 to 4 hours until I go to bed. And that's just how I post. Unfortunately, there's no scheduling software for Instagram. There is scheduling software, but it's like Instagram has a very tight API. So the scheduling software is not supposed to exist. So there is software out there, but it probably will be shut down in the near future if Instagram, cleans up their act and tells them to shut it down. But there's no legitimate scheduling for Instagram. Like there's no, Hootsuite don't offer it. No, Buffer don't offer it. Unfortunately, it's just you have to just post on your phone. You can't even post from your computer either. You can't even view you can view content from your computer, but it's better absorbed on your phone, really.
Yeah. And let's talk a bit about how to create that content, because I know there are many different apps which help you kind of put the image and the text together and come up with really nice quotes or any other content you want to have on Instagram. So which ones do you recommend most?
I really like WordSwag, which works for iOS, so all Apple devices. However, if you're on Android, I'd recommend Fonto. So it's Phonto, which is a good one for Android. And yeah, those are some really good apps to create content. Otherwise, if you want to do it on your computer, I'd recommend Canva.
Okay, so you do it on your computer and then send it to your phone, and from there only you can post on Instagram, right?
For me, I don't do it on my computer. I do it on my phone using WordSwag. But as an alternative, Canva is good if you want to do it on your computer. But yeah, you can't post from your computer, unfortunately.
Yeah, I loved WordSwag as well because they have so many nice background images to choose from, which is another issue. You kind of save time not searching for images yourself. You kind of pick up the most relevant ones, which is quite neat. Okay, so what else do we need to know? Are there any, special tricks that the newbie people won't know unless, someone tells them? Like I just found out recently about the direct messaging, which I don't think many people know about Instagram.
Yeah, so look, I think what I've just shared with you is the best stuff. I think especially the follow me, follow you strategy and the share for share stuff is pretty powerful. Hashtags is very powerful as well. I think when it comes to direct messaging, it can be good. You're right that direct messaging isn't that well known. But yeah, you can private message people via Instagram. However, yeah, look, I have built our email list via direct message as well. I just have templated messages that, I save on my notepad and I just copy and paste them for certain things that people write to me. I have made sales directly from Instagram through direct messaging, where somebody has said, how are you doing this? We actually launched recently an Instagram course, and a lot of people always ask us, how are you guys growing so fast? So I have a templated message saying, we get this question all the time. We've actually created a course. Sign up for that, to be notified about the course here. And quite a few of those people that did contact me did actually sign up for our course. So it does work, but it's not very scalable, if that makes sense. I think the best thing to do to grow is just really post engaging content that your audience loves, that is shareable. Use hashtags to your benefit, and do the follow me, follow you strategy, rinse, repeat that, and then also do share for share stuff. And look, that is the main gist of it. In my course that we launched called Instagram Domination, we do unpack a lot of these strategies and help you do it step by step and hold your hand. But that is the main stuff that we have used to grow.
Yeah.
You can also do paid shout outs as well. So you can pay other accounts to shout you out. We've spent about $1,500 US on paid shout outs, which has brought us at least 10,000 followers. But at the same time, you don't have to do paid shout outs. Just depends. But that's a whole nother area where you have to be careful to find out that the account's not dodgy, or that they do have the engagement that they say they have, etc., etc.
Yeah, I can imagine that could be a bit tricky as well. Yeah. So is your course still open to register? Like if my listeners would be interested in that, are the doors still open, or you've closed them already?
I've closed them for now, but we will be opening, depending when this interview goes live, we will be opening it mid to late April. We're just working on it now to relaunch it again. But if your audience are interested, you can go to Foundr, FOUNDR, no E, MAG, so foundrmag.com/GetIG, so GETIG. So foundrmag.com/GetIG, and you'll be notified when the course goes live again.
Okay, I see. Well, thanks a lot for sharing this awesome content with us and the tips which you're actually selling for money.
That's okay.
Yeah,
that's fine.
It was very valuable. So one thing to keep in mind for impatient people like me is that it's not sprint, it's a marathon. So it will take time. And we have consistent. Yeah, and we have to be consistent. So, anyone who would like to try it out and who has the time and the desire to kind of push through it, I'm sure that it's like one of the not yet overused channels to try to get into.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, this is a bubble that's going to burst one day. So for me, I'm all about, if you find a good channel, you just hit it really hard, you hustle really hard on it, and that's what we're doing. And we're getting some great results.
Yeah, and it's great because, if the results are in terms of customer acquisitions and email list building, then you kind of, whatever happens later on with Instagram, you still got these people with you anyway.
Yeah, that's right. It's all about, serving your community and growing it as much as you can to further serve that community.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Nathan. I really appreciate your time. It was really nice talking to you. And I'm sure my listeners got tons of value.
Oh, you're welcome, Annie.
Well, it seems like that's all I have for today. As always, if you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe to it on iTunes and Stitcher. And if you've got just 1 minute for me, please leave a review, and it will enormously help grow the podcast and inspire and encourage even more people. I hope you're having a productive and nice week, and I hope you keep writing and you continue building your dream.
Did you know there's a new place to sell your audiobooks besides ACX and Audible? There is, Buck Books. Authors, I know most of your audiobooks are sold exclusively through ACX, but on any new books you have, a one-day sales pit stop at Buck Books is a no-brainer. When your narrator finishes your audiobook, send us the files and we will feature it to tens of thousands of our active subscribers and growing for one day only. You get some great sales, and the very next day you can upload it exclusively to ACX. This is a great way to help offset the cost of production on a new audiobook and start building a strong relationship with the world's hottest free book promotion service, Buck Books. Not sure how to go about getting your book made into an audiobook or having trouble deciding if audiobook production is right for you? With an audiobook team of 10 and the lowest production cost around, Buck Books is ready to help you finally add this lucrative format to your author portfolio and sell it too. For more information, send an email to john@buckbooks.net. That's John, John, @buckbooks.net.